That coat looks very warm.
It's such an outfit. It's great.
It kind of reminds me of when I got called Big Bird the other day.
Hello.
Hello!
Welcome.
Welcome!
Pineapple and Lemon.
Woohoo.
For today, I'm bringing you a TV show.
Ooh!
For today, I am bringing you Only Murders in the Building.
We found another show, guys, that I haven't seen. And guess what? It's not a period piece.
Yes. Go figure. It's modern.
Woohoo!
This TV show is kind of playing on the true crime fanatics that people have turned into recently, where they're listening to the podcast, they're watching all those TV shows.
Yep.
And it takes this story of a murder mystery, and it takes these people that are fans of this genre, and they think, oh, well, I can solve this mystery.
Oh, I love it.
I got this.
Could totally do this. I saw this on TV.
So in particular, the people that are the main cast of the show are Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez.
Ooh.
But have you heard anything about the show before?
I have heard quite a lot about it, like good things. Not really details about the show to like spoil anything or give anything. Like I literally don't know anything that happens in the show, but I've heard a lot of people talking about it, saying you should watch this. It's really great. So I'm very excited to watch this, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it's as good as everyone's hyping it up to be, because there are quite a few seasons, so could add that to my binge list.
Yes, the 4th season is currently airing right now. I haven't watched any of it because I like binging the show once the whole season's out. I don't want to give away anything because we're going to just jump into it for today.
No spoilers.
But for those of you that don't know anything about the show, here's the IMDb plot summary for you.
Ma'am.
3 strangers who live in the same New York City apartment building and share an obsession with true crime suddenly find themselves embroiled in a murder.
Ooh. All the nosy neighbors.
Well, I mean, that is a lot to be looking at.
I will, but he won't understand, you know? Not anymore.
Jeez.
Right, yes, totally, of course, yes.
Casual Monday morning walk to work conversation.
Right?
All the eyes on you all the time.
Were you a Selena Gomez fan at all, like growing up?
I watched her stuff, like I listened to her music, but I wasn't like a super fan.
Yeah, I mostly just know her from Wizards of Waverly Place. Like that's the main one for me, but
That's when you get hit by something you never saw coming.
I feel like Steve is literally the exact same
yeah.
from like going as far back as She Brother Dozen.
It's funny because Steve Martin has had white hair for so long that you kind of don't realize like how long you've seen him in projects, right?
Because he's been in so many.
Yeah.
He's kind of one of those like staples that we grew up with him, right?
I do love that Steve Martin and Martin Short are in this show, and it's like a popular show, but they're still like bringing it, right? Again, cute little openings like this. I love having little theme songs for shows. But that's pretty cool that they have like a say on the show as well as acting in it.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's important too, especially like I find for a longer running series, you always find like your leads become executive producers because they want to have more an opinion on how the show is run, because they've spent so much time living in the character and invested into the character and their growth. I always appreciate when you see them kind of get that extra.
Yeah, they want to back the project, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Stay at the theater if you want a life, Ursula. Trust me.
Of course, he's in theater.
It's also like New York, right?
True. He's trying for Broadway, or
he has worked on plays. Like,
so he's not like a wannabe.
No. Yeah,
he's a veteran. That coat looks very warm.
it's such an outfit. It's great.
It kind of reminds me of when I got called Big Bird the other day.
Were you wearing all yellow?
I had a yellow jacket.
Do you like your beats?
Can't hear you.
I do, because I can't hear what you're saying.
Wow.
I would never stand up my peppers.
That tracks, so I feel like that's what his fridge would look like.
Yeah. You're like, yep, this makes sense.
Yeah, this makes sense. This is okay with me. This is not weird.
I wasn't expecting to find anything related to the disappearance of his niece, Becky.
I've never listened to a true crime podcast.
No.
Like, it's not something I have any... For someone who likes mysteries,
Yeah.
I'm not as big into true crime, but I understand, like, what they are parodying in the show, obviously, but not something for me personally.
Everyone bring your most prized possession with you.
Yeah. This light is scary if you were in the middle of a
Who's
evacuation.
going up when everyone's going down?
Oh, maybe it's a mystery.
Ooh.
In a steady Oklahoma rain.
Good thing he brought his map with him.
His most prized possession.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they all went to the same place. I love it.
Well, it's just across the street.
But listen, I won't say a word, but
Do you think these two ever get mixed up in real life? They both have a Martin in their name.
I feel like they would. Not because they look similar, but
No.
definitely because they have Martin as one of their names.
And they've been in stuff together.
yes.
I mean, we got our places 30 years ago when the Arconia was affordable, but would your parents have a place there or something?
Good God, you don't have to answer that, Mabel.
You're asking the good questions. These are the
See?
questions I was asking.
People would be asking it right away.
Right?
Oh, Charles was in an old TV series many, many years ago. What was it called?
Cheer by the dozen. Something she would understand.
Oh, yeah. Riding in style.
She's just chilling.
Oh, yeah.
Having a grand old time. That was a very impressive omelet. What is your secret to flipping it?
Flipping into the garbage.
What? Why are we tossing out the omelets?
There's more to the characters you haven't discovered yet.
You've been alone for 28 years.
Shh, I'm lockpicking. I need complete silence.
I need to focus.
It's all I have. It's who I am.
Yeah, well, obviously it makes me very sad to hear that.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Didn't you say your grandchildren were your sole focus?
Right?
Maybe you're right. Maybe going at it alone is better.
I forget they're all just kind of like three sad people looking for others
Something,
to interact with,
yeah.
right? Like to have some friendship.
You need to have like I find like if you don't have a conversation with someone like a whole day, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
You need to have like a social interaction with people.
On this?
You had a ring shipped to you?
That was a really big box to ship it in.
I feel like it would be better packaged if it's precious cargo. Well, we don't throw out the sunny side up
A
egg.
single egg, but we would throw out the omelet.
We need to focus. Only murders in the building.
There you
There it
go.
is. Title drop.
Who's the Hardy boy?
Uh-oh. Awkward.
Alrighty.
They definitely do like a really good job of like setting it up. And you get like enough information from each of the characters to kind of satisfy you, but you still want to know a bit more. And the characters are definitely very layered and very complex. I would say it felt like they gave a bit too much away for Steve and Martin's characters, like pretty early on, and then you're kind of left like wondering about Selena's character.
For the first season, I will say like she is more of a mysterious figure to learn more about. So that's why the other two are a little more grounded because, or at least we know their backstory. So you can kind of like latch on with them to be like, okay, like we know what's going on with these guys. They have some personal troubles in their life, but her background, we're very much like, what's going on here? Especially the reveal at the end. Like clearly she knows more of what's going on, but that kind of adds another layer to the mystery, not just the murder, right? Like there's more going on here, but especially the two men, you kind of know them and trust them because of the actors that are portraying them.
Yes.
For Selena, this is a little bit of a different role than maybe what she's known for, especially at the time when this first came out. So I think that's kind of playing into that. A lot of people who saw the show that may be older had never seen her in other things, right?
For sure.
But they know Steve Martin. They know Martin Short. The characters they're playing are a little more goofy. So it's harder to be like, they're so mysterious, right? Like,
yeah, for sure. I mean, there are definitely things that they are like withholding. Obviously, we don't get their full like life story within like the first 30 minutes of like the first episode, obviously, but they give you enough.
Yeah.
So you're not completely blind and you can kind of start picking up pieces. And I'm sure as like you said, as the season goes on, you find out a bit more about them. So my thought would be by the end of the first season, you kind of have almost a full backstory of at least the first two characters. You might not have a full picture of like Selena's character, but I think that's kind of like you said, what they're going for is to kind of keep her a bit more of the mysterious figure, and then everything will be revealed in the final episode and the setup for the next season kind of vibe. Overall, I liked it. It was slow, but not too slow.
I like just to talk, like this is definitely the most setup, but as it goes on, obviously like stakes get higher and there's more of like I guess more of a thriller element to it as it goes.
And I think it's definitely worth like continuing at least the first season to see how it all like how the story plays out, and kind of, you know, you want to see who like the reveal at the end, like who done it kind of thing. So it's definitely one that I would be very much interested in like continuing.
I think we were kind of talking too, like you have to establish like why are these three people all going to, first of all, like want to do this podcast, but also want to like spend time together. And I think a big part, maybe you don't see it as much in this episode, but clearly there's like an older generation, a younger generation between all the characters, but it's never mean-spirited. Sometimes they poke fun at each other, but you can kind of see them, they're already starting to form this friendship, right? And I think that's a really nice element that the show has, that it never talks down like, oh, you're young, oh, you're old, like none of that. Yeah, they make jokes. Yeah, like that's part of it. But
yeah, for sure.
There is a level to the show that I find is very endearing, the way they treat their characters and like give them, like I said, they don't talk down to them. So I think that's just like another layer that you don't really see a lot of TV shows with like older leads, and especially them finding somebody like a younger person to spend time with. And it's not like their granddaughter or something, right?
Yeah, not like no relation.
Yeah.
I like the dynamic of how they interact with each other. And I do agree with you. There's not one person talking down to the other or calling, like there's no ageism in it at all. They're all very much like, I would say almost like your office dynamic, like how everyone is of a different age, different life experience. And you're kind of all just like pooling it together.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see like how the three of them are going to continue to work together to solve the mystery, because there are like all three of them have such a difference in their life experience and their knowledge base as well. And obviously, like, you know, if you do throw the age out there, like the two gentlemen have, because they are older, they have a lot more life experience than Selena's character does. But we also don't know anything about her background. Like for all we know, say her character's 30. In what happened those 30 years, she could have lived more than what the two gentlemen have. And like, you know,
and like they're playing a playwright and an actor, right?
Yeah.
Like those aren't crime fighting skills that you're learning in those jobs.
Yeah.
Like, he played a detective, but
so he's definitely leaning on that, but it's also, you know, something to be said for that was TV, right?
Yeah,
like there's only so many transferable skills from what you learn on TV to, you know, real life. Like,
and clearly like Selena Gomez has a connection directly with the person that was murdered. So she does have insight that the other two don't know about.
I do feel like she has like the biggest question mark right now. Like, she doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
She's the anomaly. The other two, they've lived in the building for like 30 years.
Yeah, you're
totally,
like, I get
it makes sense.
Yeah.
But then when she's coming in, she lives in this ritzy thing and she's saying, oh, my aunt, and I'm remodeling. I'm like, I don't know if I actually buy this. Like, part of it felt like she was, you know, squatting a bit. Like, that's very much what it felt like. Like, the unit is under renovation, but she's not technically a resident,
right?
Like that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. And then now you're like right at the end they reveal like, oh, she was her Hardy Boys were like one of them was the guy that was murdered, and you're like, this is something's not adding up here, right? Like it doesn't make sense. So it's kind of one of those, like that's kind of what's pulling me a bit more, is like, mystery aside, like I need to know more about this character, like her background, like her story needs to make sense to me. And right now she's just this giant question mark. What was the ring all about? Was the ring for her? Was it for somebody else? Like what is, it just seems like a lot of drama's coming up, the whole mystery, thriller, suspense of it all. So I'm curious to see how it's gonna play out.
And you see what I'm saying now, where you don't want to wait week to week to watch. Like,
no, for
you
sure.
want to binge the show.
Yeah, because if I had to wait till the following week, it would just be sitting there stewing. You'd be like, I would literally have my own wall of like, you know, mapping out everything, trying to figure it all out. So,
but I think overall we both recommend checking this one out.
Yeah, definitely recommend checking it out. Let us know in the comments if you've seen the show, if you've seen all the seasons. You said we're at 4 seasons now. If you have seen it, favorite characters, favorite moments. Do you have any other recommendations for film, television, plays?
Let us know.
Let us know. We add them all to our long list and we'll eventually get to them all.
And if you're like the characters on this show and you like podcasts, maybe you check out ours too.
On the Spotify, Pineapple and Lemon Podcast.
You can go check us out where we have a bit more in-depth conversations, longer conversations about a multitude of different topics. So you can check us out over there, give some suggestions as well.
That's a wrap on today's episode.
That's it. And keep your eyes out.
Keep your eyes out.
For any murders in the building.
Ooh.
Only murders in this building.
Only in this specific building.
That's the thing.
Not the building beside us or across the street.
No,
this one
building.
specific building.
Yep.
Yep.
Thank you so much for watching with us.
It's been a blast and a half.
Had a really good time.
As always.
You could like this video.
Or subscribe, even better.
If you want to see something for us to watch in the future, like a movie or TV show, please let us know in the comments.
And we'll get on that right away for you.
Yeah.
Woohoo!